Well, you grew up watching her. There is no doubt she left an impression. We do have sad news to report to you tonight. Longtime WHAS 11 and Wave TV anchor Melissa Forsythe died late this week at her Louisville home. We learned about it last night. She was 71, and her sister tells me she died of natural causes. Tonight, we are honoring her remarkable career, a tough but fair journalist.
Action 11 News with Jim Mitchell. Melissa Forsythe.
By the time Melissa Forsythe was the co-anchor of the 6 o'clock news here on WHAS 11, she had been a fixture on Louisville TV for more than a decade. Barry Burnson worked with her at Wave TV and right here at WHAS 11.
Melissa was one of the first, if not the first, female street reporters for a TV station in Louisville. And she came in and got dirty and sweaty with the rest of us and went out in the street. 2
stations over more than 20 years, generations of viewers grew up watching her. She anchored and reported some of the biggest stories, joining WHAS in 1979. The artificial heart implant of 1984.
An artificial heart implant was his last chance. The Jasper, Indiana man spent some time with his wife Margaret and their 6 children.
The Carrollton bus crash.
Mahoney maintained his composure on the stand, and at the end he offered an apology to the Radcliffe families.
She covered the trial of the drunk driver who crashed into the bus, Larry Mahoney.
In Carrollton, Melissa Forsythe, Action 11 News, Night Team.
Anchoring with calm some of our worst tragedies.
And I'm Melissa Forsythe. The waiting continues tonight for the families of the people wounded in the attack on Standard Gravure. Doug Profit is live tonight at University Hospital.
She loved her Southern Indiana roots and is a graduate of Corydon High School.
Long before he was on stage, he was performing.
In the 1980s at WHAS, she got an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at the Seymour, Indiana recording studio of rock star John Cougar Mellencamp, and she ended up dancing with him. She was a trailblazer who broke barriers, joining Wave TV in 1972, right from graduating Indiana University.
When the snow stopped Louisville cold, Wave News anchor Melissa Forsythe moved into high gear.
She was a street reporter first.
I never heard her say, gee, I'd like to be a news anchor. I mean, she really just wanted to be a reporter.
Recording her own stories with heavy film cameras, then becoming the first woman to anchor a weekday newscast.
Melissa Forsythe, Livingston Gilbert, the Wave News team.
Ultimately, she became a co-anchor with Livingston Gilbert. By the way, they used to speak French together. They were both fluent in French.
But when Wave didn't renew her deal and then tried to stop her from moving over to WHAS, the 2 stations headed to federal court over her contract. WHAS won.
Now, from WHAS TV, this is Action 11 News Night Team.
She joined us as the Southern Indiana reporter and then weekend anchor, rising to weekday anchor here.
As a public figure, very, very private. Liked her alone time. And I think for some years, people had lost touch with her or she with them. And it was kind of sad. She was a real force in this city.
Let's go back to Melissa.
All right, Paul, let's find out what Kaywood thinks. Kaywood?
A fixture on Derby coverage.
That's my horse winning colors.
Showing she was one of our city's most versatile, finest journalists. He may have been joking, but back in the 1980s, Terry Miners certainly got it right.
Boy, what a news team! Melissa has the news, George with weather, Teddy with sports, and Abe does editorials.
The Mount Rushmore of journalism. Well, her sister told me today she always appreciated the audience and loved her job. On a personal note for you, I worked with her twice. First, when I was a high school intern right here in the late 70s. She was a tough editor as weekend anchor, marking up your scripts after you wrote them or even ripping them right up in front of you if she didn't like them. You needed to start over was the message. It was always a lesson learned. I never considered it an insult. Her precise, concise writing made us all better journalists. In her wake, she set a high bar for Kentuckiana, and it is so appreciated.